All right, so I'm going to talk more about New Egypt and some of the things that happened because we're going to start getting into the muck and the mire that I warned you was coming. But keeping it balanced, like remember all the other videos I built up things that really good memories with my dad, and I did that to keep a balance. Here, when you're in recovery, they drill it into your head. Trust God, clean house, help others. So clean house, that part is, I still can't stand that person, and you got to work through it. You got to get through it. I'm not saying you. I'm talking to myself. So getting through it was keeping a balance, like not focus on my dad's actions. He was a very sick person toward the tail end of his drinking. Focus on my memories and build that up. So I want to do the same thing with my mom. I did build her up a lot, but I want to, before I start talking about the big problems me and her had, I want to say some really touching things to keep me balanced about my mom as well as my dad. When I was in 5th or 6th grade, before we moved, obviously, I got an assignment at school, and this was so cool. This was so cool. You had to make a diorama, and you were given a basket, or maybe my mom got the basket, but it was a kind like fruit come in, and you're supposed to cut part of it out and make a diorama of whatever country that you drew. You had to draw, from it. And I believe I got Japan, and I'm not, like, I'm a little artsy now when I get on graphics. I can fool around with stuff, and I like the AI art and all that. That's pretty cool. I can generate that stuff. The jury's still out on AI, though. Okay, let me just say that. Okay, so I had no idea about art. I wasn't one of those people that, colored inside the lines in the coloring books. I just wasn't in my wheelhouse. I was more of a talker, an expresser, an actor, a fixer. Those were my superpowers, if you will. So my mom was engaged in it, which was amazing. It must have been at like a lull in my dad's, performance problems. And she helped me, and she built this little doll out of a styrofoam, I think, or something she got, and it looked like a little girl with a kimono on. For Japan, the kimonos, those beautiful. And somehow she took an old piece of her dress, one of her old dresses, and it was satin, and she made the little high neck, and that went all the way to the floor, and she made pretend shoes. These projects as teachers give you, the parents do wind up doing most of them, because I did when my kids were little. So, she did the background with the cherry blossom tree, and then I hardly did any of it, and she was so into it. It just chokes me up, because Mom never got involved in my life, really. It wasn't that she didn't want to. I think if she was a stay-at-home mom, we would have had a way different life. Anyway, so you can see it's hard. Other memory, really, really precious memory. We were so piss poor broke in that stupid apartment, and my mom kept trying to make it. Like I said, she always wanted to go to college, but she never got a shot. And we didn't have money for a Christmas tree. Now, don't get all jokey about it. I've had plenty of Christmas trees since, but this was like a rough Christmas. And she went, I don't know where she got the white paper. It was the crepe paper that you stuff in gifts. And she glued it to one of the doors in our apartment. And she took lollipops. And she got just black masking tape. And she made the shape of a Christmas tree out of lollipops. Dude. My mom tried so hard. Sorry, I'm crying. But I can still see that dumb-ass lollipop tree. My mom was trying to give us kids something. She's such a good woman. And I was not nice to her later on because of all the stuff here. And we weren't close. We just weren't throughout, right until she died. There was some pieces here and there. But keeping it balanced, of all the bad things that happened. My mom did that kimono dress on that Japanese girl in my diorama, and I got an A. And that lollipop tree was so, when I think of it, how hard it was for her to not be able to give her 4 kids a tree. Any tree. And she didn't want to ask my Aunt Mill or my Aunt Mara for help. That wasn't my mom. She never went for the, she had very low opinion of people on any kind of welfare. So she made that tree, and that was our tree. Mom, up in heaven, I love you. I've made amends to you 100 times over for our hard relationship all those years, but I love you, Mom. So after this, I'm going to talk more about the breakdowns that happened with my mom, because she was trying to make a new life. And my brain was still connected as a child to the old. That's where I was thumbprinted, and she just wanted everything brand new and cut the old off. And no, my stepfather became like this military kind of strict person. So anyway, I want to keep it balanced and think of the good things about my mom. And I know you people out there, a lot of you have wounds, and people are gone. They're gone to heaven, and you can't do anything about it. Well, part of my making amends to the world, as I said in other videos, was making this and telling people, yeah, it's rough, but just do your work. Whatever that work is. If it means going back and looking at the garbage and forgiving, and then going and doing good work, like maybe mentoring some women, or doing volunteer work, or just reaching your hand out and loving somebody who's not loved. I mean, that's how you make amends, for me. Anyway, more about that. I'm thinking about making a second channel about amends, because I think it'd be pretty cool. I'm going to interview people. This is what's in my head. We'll see. I'm really okay. I know I broke down and cried, but it just hurts, because there was the regret part is that all those years. So don't waste any years. I know you probably hear it, but you're looking at pain there from that. So if my pain touches you, call somebody that you think is an asshole. Sorry for the language. And just do your best to love that person. And then do your work to forgive yourself.